everybody is very nimble, very quick. There's plenty of competition out there. This is something that's very difficult to obtain without innovation. In my mind, I like to think of innovation in two categories. It's really not two categories, it's really a continuum. But I like to think of innovation as incremental innovation. What are the improvements? What are the product line extensions? What do you need to do every year to succeed? To deliver again, to hit your numbers, perform for your owners. What do you need to do? That's incremental innovation. We also have innovation that I really view as game-changing or disruptive. There's several writers that have given this some other terms. This is innovation that's more difficult to plan. It's innovation that can come along that changes an industry. It can change your company. Often there's a good degree of luck involved, but it's innovation. You like to try and have game-changing, disruptive innovation as a company as often as you can. More difficult to plan. You've got to do the incremental every year. You've got to succeed every year, but you're looking for that game changer. What's interesting about innovation is I'm not talking just about good ideas. The world is full of geniuses. The world is full of good ideas. The world is full of things that never get executed, are never turned into anything. Innovation implies a great idea and execution that makes it into a reality. One of the examples I like to use all the time is we had an executive at the company that invented rollerblades. It was his idea. He filed a patent on it. He got 17 years protection from the U.S. Patent Office and wasn't able to execute to turn the rollerblade idea for 17 years into a fungible business, a business that really meant something. Since the patent has expired, there's been several companies that have made it a huge business, the cornerstone of their business. But that's a good example of a great idea, something that was a borderline genius, but without the execution, it didn't turn into innovation. In my experience, innovation almost always involves teamwork. It rarely comes from one person, and it also involves some failure. Another example I like to use, another company I look at all the time is Apple. And if I ask people in this room how many people have an iPod, or how many people have bought 10 iPods for their family like I have, probably everybody in the room would raise their hand. Did anybody in this room know they needed an iPod before Steve Jobs and Apple came out with the iPod? Probably not. But that's a great idea. That's a great example of a great idea that was turned into a huge business success because they were able to execute it. And that's a little company that's gone from $6 billion in sales to $24 billion in sales in a 5-year period through the iPhone, the iPod, and their other creative categories. I'd just like to show you a few examples of innovation at our company. If you go back 90 years, I know for the students in this room, this looks like cutting-edge product, the 1,000-mile boot. This looks like cutting-edge marketing. But Wolverine developed a new process about 90 years ago a new process for tanning horse hides. And it resulted in a very durable leather. So they came out with the 1,000-mile shoe, the 1,000-mile boot. It really was the cornerstone, initial cornerstone for the Wolverine brand taking off to eventually become the #1 position in the U.S. work market. We had another game-changing innovation in 1958. We developed a new process for tanning pigskin suede, and we turned it into really the world's first casual shoe. Hush Puppies, 1958, unbelievable success. I mean, if you think about it, was it all planned? Did people have an idea this was going to be a disruptive, game-changing innovation right from the start? I can tell you they did not. But it was incremental innovation that went down the continuum and turned really into a game changer. Innovation is not just about products, though. Product design and products. It can extend to processes. It can extend to business models. This is a photograph I really like. It was taken in 1959 Mr. Kraus, president of a little privately held company in Rockford, Michigan at the time, pipe in hand, is pointing to a map of the world. And he had the idea in 1959 to take the Hush Puppy brand international. And if you think about it, this was at a time when nobody in the consumer area, nobody certainly in consumer soft goods, was thinking in terms of global distribution or reach for their brand. And this gave us a 20, 30, 40, 50-year head start on the competition because we were able to go around the world starting in 1959 and establish very important licensing and distributorship arrangements that serve us well to this day. Today, Hush Puppies is still one of the top 5 brown shoe brands in the world in over 130 countries, about 19 million pair a year. Most people don't realize in the United States that Hush Puppy has that kind of global strength. The Wolverine brand had really another game changer in 1992. In hindsight, this appears, why is this a game changer? We're going to put comfort in work boots. Doesn't seem like such a novel idea, but they borrowed the bounce technology from the Hush Puppy brand, which was a sister brand in the company, turned it into, put it into work boots, and for really the first time ever developed really comfortable work boots. Took the world by storm. They changed the name from Bounce to DuraShocks, and that's one of the key innovative changes that went at that time because Bounce wasn't going to really resonate with the American worker, but DuraShocks, that did, and it was an unbelievable success. Since that time, the Wolverine brand has continued to develop product and has had a lot of what I would call incremental innovation. The compressor series, the multi-shock series, the contour welt series that was introduced last year really has had a continuous success and has tripled the amount of pairs under that brand over that period of time. Another big game changer for us was taking a couple of shoes here and turning them into the Jungle Mock for Merrell. And this is a footwear individual shoe that's sold millions and millions of pairs. Did we really plan it? I told you sometimes it involves a degree of luck. Did we really plan this to be a game changer? I can remember my mentor and our CEO and chairman at the time going, who's going to buy these pointy-toed Robin Hood shoes? Well, sometimes you know what's going to sell, sometimes you don't know what's going to sell. But this shoe really took off for the Merrell brand and helped create the Merrell brand what it is today. But what was part of the brilliance? What was part of the innovation here? It was 4 words. Jungle Mock, the name of the shoe. It's not a mock. It's a double-door slip-on, but the name sounded cool. They took the jungle name from the outsole, the Jungle Runner, a failed trail running shoe that the Jungle Mock came from. But the other brilliance here was, well, Merrell didn't want to call this a casual shoe. This was an after-sport shoe. So if you buy an after-sport shoe, it kind of implies that, hey, maybe I've been out there doing sport. Maybe I have been exercising. Those 4 words created a whole new category in footwear called after-sport. Again, brilliant. Sometimes the innovation and sometimes the brilliance can come down to 2 words. It can come down to 4 words. Since that time, of course, the Jungle Mock has created a whole new category, the mock category, and for us, has sold millions and millions and millions of pairs. The net result is other category extensions, other incremental innovations, and you can see what here has happened to the pairage growth curve for Merrell over the last 10 years. One of the unbelievable success stories in our industry, and we're in an industry that grows at about 2 or 3% a year. So this kind of growth is really unbelievable. You're taking market share from other people when you have this kind